This episode of The Breakfast Dish is brought to you by RUMI. With warmer weather comes yard work. And lots of it, if you're someone else and not me. Prune your trees and shrubs, clean your eaves troughs, replace those drafty windows you noticed over the winter. Or you can call RUMI to take care of all your outdoor and indoor spring home maintenance while you fire up the BBQ and relax.
You have to know that you could say barbecue.
While you fire up the barbecue and relax.
I want to use the first take.
Visit RUMI.ca, that's RUMI.ca, or call 1-844-777-7864 and let RUMI's trusted local experts take care of your yard. So all you have to do is enjoy it.
RUMI. Are you mine?
1-800-777-7864.
Yeah, sorry. You did the real jingle. I just made up one for the company that we're not being sponsored by. Are You Mine, my new dating app. Thanks, Rumi.
Tell me your dreams over bacon and eggs. We'll share a laugh and a story and even a wish on the breakfast dish.
Good morning, good morning. You slept the whole night through. Good morning to the Breakfast Dish listeners.
Such an odd thing to hear as your chair squeaks. It's you
Really?
alone
My
in
chair
your
is
office
squeaking?
going, yeah.
Okay, hold on. Good morning, all you listeners, with your hands and faces clean as mine.
This is a different
Good
song.
morning, all you listeners. Did I do it without a squeak?
Yeah, you're perfectly still while singing. Excellent job. Have we not actually have we not sang any of those songs in our 56, 57 episodes?
50. What is this?
I don't know. I don't know anything.
I don't know either. But no, I don't think we've sung it. The Good Morning is from a musical, King and I, maybe? I can't remember.
1 second. That song's from The King and I
don't know. I could be totally, I can't remember which it's from.
That's gotta be wrong.
But good morning, all you campers, with your hands and faces clean as mine. It's a longer song. I won't sing the whole thing, but that comes from your old and my mother's time as a CGIT girl.
CGIT.
Girls in training. Some Canadian
College
girls in training,
girls.
which is kind of like Girl Guides-y kind of thing.
Oh, okay.
Or it could have come from her days at Surprise Lake Camp.
So what is Surprise Lake Camp?
Surprise
Did you not
Lake
know?
Camp.
Did you not know that the water was going to be there when you sign up for the camp?
At the time that the lake was named, the person came upon it by surprise. It's up by Edson, Surprise Lake. And your Oma went there, and that's where she met your Bumpa, and that's where they got married, was actually at that camp. And then your sister, your aunt, my sister, and I both went to Surprise Lake Camp as kids. And more importantly, Griffin, when Neil Diamond was a child, he went to a camp called Surprise Lake Camp. Yes, it was in Jersey somewhere, but we've both been to camps with the same name.
How are you surprised by a lake? Was it a surprise lake in that it wasn't dictated on the map of the area?
Yeah, because it was oldie-timies, and so it was like an adventurer foraging through the woods. I claim this land as my own. Edson is like all forest, right? So
That also means that any time an explorer should go somewhere, it should be called Surprise Continent. Is that the naming structure? I didn't know this was going to be here. I mean, no one's been here yet, but I didn't know this was going to be here.
I don't know, but Surprise Lake Camp is tended by, maybe still, or in an attempt to revive it by Jocelyn Alf's nephew, Isaac.
My God. What do we do on the breakfast dish, Karen?
On the breakfast dish, we do what I used to do before stay away from each other times, which is go out for breakfast with people I know or barely knew and get to know them and interesting things about them, and then share with the rest of my social media friends who this person was and why they should meet them. So we're kind of doing that.
I have brought on a very exciting guest this time, and it's exciting to me because I know for a fact that it's a guest who has also listened to the podcast before we asked the guest to be on the podcast.
We love you. We love you.
We have the self-proclaimed Jack-Of-All-Trades, although I can absolutely confirm it. He's a grip, he's a writer, he's an actor, he's an animator. It is Jordan Bouma. Jordan, how are you?
Hi, I'm very good, and I'm very excited to be here. I think I have listened to almost every episode of The Breakfast Dish. So it's really
Is that real? Have you actually really?
Almost. There's a couple here and there I missed, and I kid you not, a lot of it, you guys started this around when I started this new animation project, so it's been nice to calm and soothe me while I'm just moving pupils around and things like that. So yeah, it's been really good.
Interesting.
What does moving pupils around mean?
In animation?
Characters of student pupils, or is pupil like a pixel?
Like tiny pixels, like every mouth movement, every pupil movement, every blinking eye, I have to move it all. And it's very, it's
Gotcha.
very
You mean
time-consuming.
actually like eyeball pupils.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's actually very common animator slang, Karen. We like to call the pixels pupils. How many? Oh, that's all. Yo, this looks really good, man. How many pupes do you have in this?
Well, that's 75 pupils per eyeball.
Nice.
Yeah,
That's
it's a lot of pupils.
I have to say to our listeners that Jordan has the most amazing head of hair that I've ever seen on anyone, anywhere. And I'll tell you, my son has a head of hair, Griffin Cork. If we haven't said that, Griffin Cork is my son. I'm Karen Johnson Diamond. I'm his mother. We forgot that part.
If we haven't said that, my son has hair. And don't anyone say otherwise.
I forgot to mention my son is hirsute. Anyway, so is Jordan. Even more hirsute.
Yeah, if there's anything this lockdown has taught me, it's how to grow out my hair and how to shave my head and how to grow it all back out again.
So here's how I met Jordan Bouma.
Okay, go.
Jordan Bouma put out a casting call for an animated project called Where Monsters Dwell. And eventually it worked out that I got an email from him asking if I wanted to be a big cyborg bear named Ursidae Galactoror. Did I get that right, Jordan?
You nailed it. Yeah, that's it.
Woo! Ursidae Galactoror. So there's this insane photo of me in the studio that we recorded this in. I have my hands like they're like gripping, and I'm kind of like in a weird lunge flex position, and I have like a mouth. Anyway, so that's me as Ursidae Galactoror, and it's just about, well, no, Jordan, why don't you give us a synopsis about what Where Monsters Dwell is about?
Sure. Yeah, it was, it's really funny how it came about because we were originally pitching something for a contest that didn't end up getting funded, and we did it with little animatics, and I was like, my goodness, we could do a whole animation if we did something like this. So, my golly. So we came up with this idea of a bunch of animated monsters that are basically taking over a city, and our main character, Charlie Wool, is one of the last remaining humans, and he just wants to move out of there, but he can't because he doesn't have enough funds, so he takes a job to track down a big cyborg bear, played by Griffin Cork. And he did an excellent job. I still remember your audition. I think that there was one, you were acting as a goblin king of sorts, and you had this big roar, and you were commanding goblins to go out.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Mm-hmm. And I showed it to the other people at Rictus River Films, and they were like, yeah, get that guy. He would be great as the bear. So, yeah, no, it was fun. It was good.
What is Rictus River Films? Is that your company?
Yeah, quote unquote, our company. It's a name for our little group. Yeah.
Yeah, remove those quotes, damn it.
Okay, I'm sorry.
If we can call ourselves a podcast, you're a film company, that's for sure.
Sure. But yeah, it was honestly a real treat having you there. The whole cast for Where Monsters Dwell was fantastic. I can't believe how many voices we got. And I think people really like being a part of animated projects when you see yourself on the screen. I hope that was exciting for you too. But everyone told me afterwards, they were like, oh my gosh, it was me, but it wasn't me. It was like an animated different thing that I lent my voice to, and all the voices matched the drawing so well. It's like you guys all became actual different people. So that was really exciting for me.
Okay, I have a question, and I'm going to sound really knowledgeable because I've been taking animation voiceover workshops.
Oh, nice.
It was Griffin doing prelay or flap dub. What's it called?
Yeah.
So wait a second.
So, no, that's just true. So it's either prelay or it's dubstep.
Dubstep. Yes, dubstep.
Yeah,
okay.
dubstep.
W.
Did you say flap dub?
The flap thing. Okay, if the mouth is already animated and you are trying to match the mouth, as opposed to you do the voice and the animation is drawn around your voice.
Yeah, exactly.
My Lang voice.
What is it? It's prelay and what?
I'm pretty sure it's just called ADR.
Yeah, you can call it ADR. When you're basic ADR is, and that's when you're recording for something that's already been moved. You could do it for live action film. Sometimes they do that because there's been sound problems. So
right, I knew ADR for film. Yeah, but I didn't. I thought there was another word that those that are in the know with animation call flap dub.
I like the term flap dub. I'm gonna use that from now on.
Oh man, we're poisoning the well here.
My godchild Kai has a bunch of roles in animation, and they call it flap. I think Flappy Bird.
That's
what they call it.
They call it Flappy Bird, the popular phone game. I was gonna say I think what the best part, at least for the cast, is it's a very special and rare thing, at least in Alberta right now, to be hired for an animation project that is prelay. Almost all the VO work, at least that I do, is the English dub of a non-English cartoon, like be it Japanese or French or whatnot. So to be able to take all the pauses and make a meal out of certain words as much as you want as the actor, and then have that animated around, that's kind of like the ultimate VO actor freedom. So we were very spoiled in that sense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you were a part of I think, what was it called? Buddy Card Fight? You were voicing a something that is that it?
Funny enough, the first ever voice gig I did, I was in high school. And I had just called in sick because I had a sore throat. And then I got an email from one of the studio executives being like, "Hey, we have a role for you if you'd like to come in and do it today." And I went, yes, I would. No problem. And I went, I was freaking out, but I was like, thank God I got the day off school. And it was this huge bat creature named Kibaltes. And this was him. He's like, nah. And there was a weird section of the show where it was two of these big monsters, Kibaltes and Brain Baltes, Dragon Baltes, something like that. And how he decided, oh my God, I forgot about this. How he decided which monster he was going to use out of the two. They do a stink test. So both the monsters would fart. And then the master would be like, you are my champion today. So that was my first ever voiceover gig. That was for Buddy Fight.
Yeah, and so you weren't even new to the weird creature voice acting at all by the time I got to you. You were like, yeah, this is just a walk in the park, cyborg bear. Who cares?
Funny enough, I think it's because I get a lot of deep voice roles. It's getting a little bit better now as I've gotten more experience with it, but it's a lot of like low voice roles because there's usually one character in any show that has to have a low voice, or they're a dad and you got to sound like a dad.
The good old dad voice. Yeah.
I get old lady voice.
Oh, nice.
When it's radio plays or something.
And let me hear that. No, seriously, I don't have to do anything. I have played Mrs. Claus. No, seriously, I've played Mrs. Claus on CBC radio since I was 34, and I've never altered my voice, but apparently I sound like a 60-year-old woman.
Really? I see. This is actually my first time seeing you because I can see you on the webcam. And
okay, so what did you think I looked like?
Your voice sounded very young to me, but I had no idea what you would look like. But,
that's just because I'm immature, Jordan.
I gotcha.
don't
I'm retreating from this question. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Look what you did.
Expect?
No. You tell me I sound young as often as you like. That will make me
What do you think I looked like by my voice? Trick question. This is my podcast. I looked amazing.
I have some podcasts I listen to, and I never want to see what the people look like because if they don't match what's in my head, I will be disappointed.
Interesting.
So me having too much hair, that was probably...
No.
Oh, that's why she brought it up. Oh, no.
No, it's all good. Okay, I have a question now on the topic of cartoons, the animation. What is your favorite cartoon of your entire life, Jordan, that you've ever watched?
Oh, I'm going to regret not saying all my favorite cartoons.
Say them all.
Yeah, that's the problem. I'm going to remember one after the podcast is over. I'm going to be like, dang it. Okay. Batman, the animated series is fantastic. That was one of my childhood ones, as well as that 90s Spider-Man cartoon. But, in terms of actually just watching animation itself. We've been going through the Criterion channel, which has a special on independent animation right now. And so I've been watching all these gorgeous animations. Some that are quite simplistic, something like, It's Such a Beautiful Day by Don Hertzfeld. It's all done in stickman, but the animation, how it comes across is just, it's really gorgeous in its own simplistic, but very silly way. What else did we watch? Son of the White Mare. It's based on some mythology of someone who's born from a horse, and it's very gorgeous animation. If you haven't watched that one, I highly recommend it. Also getting into some Japanese stuff. We've been watching a lot of anime, some Paprika. We just watched that one recently. Really good film. Highly recommend that one as well.
Yeah, that's a good one.
That's my quick pew, pew, pew. Here's a bunch of awesome animated films.
Pew, pew, pew. My age is showing because I'm like, I know who Batman and Spider-Man are. That's all.
That's
but
good.
wait a minute.
Oh, there we go. No, that's your old lady voice right there. Perfect.
I know who Batman is.
Oh
Spider-Man in the 90s? You're not talking about the Spider-Man in the 70s.
No, different one. I'm only a product of the 90s. Oh, yeah?
That's
nice.
not true.
Sorry, that was sorry. The animated 70s Spider-Man was your favorite animation?
Actually, it's not my favorite. It's just one of the very first ones that I ever remember watching on a regular basis was the Spider-Man. Yeah. I don't know what my favorite. What's your favorite cartoon ever, Griffin?
He looks like an Adventure Time guy to me.
I tried Adventure Time. My group of close friends love Adventure Time, as well as the two other shows on Netflix that are kind of like Adventure Time. They're titles of two words that it's like, this is real life, or like unnecessary melons, or like some insane
Flappy
title. I don't
Dub
know.
Time.
Flappy Dub Time. Flappy Bird Dubstep.
Mm-hmm.
I like Rick and Morty sometimes. Nice. I think it's a great show. There's a few very choice animes that I really like. I'm a big Sword Art Online guy. Attack on Titan is pretty good.
Buddy Fight.
Oh, there's one. Buddy Fight X starring Keith Baltes, Stink Test.
Starring Griffin Cork. Mm-hmm.
There's one more. There's one that I really like. Oh, no. What popped into my head was Disenchantment, and that's also a pretty good one. I'm trying to think of the older ones that I really liked. I guess 16, if that counts.
I remember 16.
Oh, yeah.
That's the thing, though. It's not about,
too.
I can't watch it in terms of the animation because I don't understand like what's good animation or what's bad animation. But you know what else was
that's
my
the
favorite?
thing. I was trying to think of like something to impress Jordan, and I couldn't. He brought up Paprika, and I went, okay. I'm out of my league here.
No, I'm going to say Wallace and Gromit. I think that's slightly indie. Love Wallace and Gromit.
That's a good one.
Loved Pinky and the Brain and The Tick.
Good choice animations.
The new animated Tick? The one on Prime?
I think it was animated before it was live.
Really?
Same guy, though, doing the voice, I think. But no, The Tick was animated. But Pinky and the Brain, hands down.
Pinky and the Brain.
Best thing.
You bringing up Wallace and Gromit, it opened the floodgates of all the ones I didn't mention. Anything in stop motion, like all the Aardman stuff or all the Leica stuff. Anything like Coraline or Chicken Run or,
Coraline.
Yeah, exactly.
Chicken Run. See, because I was such a Wallace and Gromit fan, Chicken Run, like the same animation style, but the story was, I was just like, this isn't as funny. So it's kind of like if you see the British Office before the American Office or one or the other, like you like one better. If you see In the Heights before you see Hamilton, you're going to like In the Heights better. Anyway.
Say it. Say it. Say it right now on the podcast what you just said. Say it right now. Were you going to claim which one you like better?
Oh, In the Heights, because I saw it first. I like it better.
Really? Really?
Mm-hmm.
You can't. Okay, hold on. You can't appreciate when a certain artist makes a project later in their career. Can you appreciate like the advancement of it?
100%. I just
like
it's also a matter of whether or not I've seen it live, right? I've never seen Hamilton live. I've seen In the Heights twice with Lin-Manuel Miranda in the lead.
Yeah, that's true.
It's close to my heart. Closer to my heart.
So are you going to buy us tickets to Hamilton? Me and Jordan and you?
When is it coming?
I don't know.
Then no.
Oh, I got my hopes up really high there. I was like,
I
clear my schedule.
Came more prepared.
I'm seeing Hamilton with Karen Johnson Diamond and Griffin Cork.
Jordan, what got you into animation? Like what made you start? Was it Wallace and Gromit? You can tell me.
Legitimately, a lot of Aardman animation was a big inspiration, but a lot of people ask me that because I have never gone to school for animation. I am completely self-taught. I've gone to school for film. Yeah, I went to film school, but in Thunder Bay, Confederation College. Great college if you want to go to film school. But yeah, it started because legitimately I've loved making things for as long as I can remember, since I was an infant. Like the idea that you can just make something exist that's in your head, whether it be like a drawing, whether it be a little movie or anything, that blows me away. It always did, because if you thought of something that's so creative, all you have to do is find a way to show it to people. And animation has always been something as a kid I gravitated towards, because sky's the limit. And I think I went back to it because and I've been doing it all my life, just kind of self-taught and picking up from other people. But I think I went back to it because I have been working in film and doing little film things, but you can't make a giant robot bear and have it look good on a budget as thin as mine, sure. Unless it's animated, right? So, yeah, with Where Monsters Dwell and having monsters everywhere, it would have been impossible unless you did it in animation. So the fact that the sky's the limit for any project I could think of is just too addictive. I can't stop animating for that reason. It's, yeah, it's amazing.
You brought up that you're working in film, and you also are a self-proclaimed jack of all trades. So,
yeah,
list the trades, Jack. List the trades.
I shouldn't have said self-proclaimed, because he is.
No.
I don't know why I said
that's
that.
A good thing.
I think maybe I introed him because he said it, so I knew that I could say it. But I also think it.
Yeah, no. But if somebody has that many talents, then they should be called jack of all trades with pride.
Well,
tell us your talents.
Sure, yeah. The jack of all trades is the master of none, and I am truly the master of none, because I'm spread pretty thin. But yeah, I love working in animation, but the animation is pretty selfish because I don't do animation for other people because it's so much work. So I typically do that for our own little projects. But for other things, ways I go out into other films is I love working as a production designer. I always love anything in production design, whether it be props, set dressing, art direction, anything like that, wardrobe even. I designed an alien for a commercial for a company called Pleasant Solutions. That was really fun. I contributed to the alien design. Yeah. Which a lot of people did. It wasn't just me. I also work as a grip. That's like the big one where gripping is not my favorite, but it's got me on the bigger shows and the whole do what you got to do sort of thing. That's always my impress people at parties one, because they'll be like, what's the biggest film you've worked on or show?
What is it?
Well, most recently I've been working on The Last of Us. It's the most I've ever worked on a show. I know. That's because it's not out yet. It's the one I can talk about the least, which is too bad.
Of course.
Right.
But also the Netflix Lost in Space. I worked on season 2 when they were filming in Drumheller. I worked on Black Summer. It's a zombie show on Netflix.
Oh, we love Black Summer.
Oh, nice. Yeah. Yeah, I worked on season 1 of that. And then, of course, the Albertan staple, the one that everybody's worked on. I've worked on Heartland. I got to see some horses. Yeah.
Heartland.
I worked on the episode where some wolves are going about, possibly attacking. So got to see some half dog, half wolves on set. So that was fun.
Jeez.
Yeah.
For the sake of our listeners, please define grip.
Yeah, sorry. Nobody knows.
No, that's okay. That's okay.
It's true. A grip is, I looked up the definition because I was tired of having not a great answer when people ask me that. By definition, it's a film technician who works with camera and electrical equipment without actually touching the camera or the lights themselves. So a lot of the time I'm, using the stands, C stands, combi stands, using dolly tracks. So when the camera's on a cart or a dolly and it's going on the tracks, I'll usually be setting those up. So anything basically in that realm. Not super exciting, but it is fun. I do enjoy it.
No, but the hardest work, because I spent all summer with Griffin on Abracadabras season 2, and they're the first to come and the last to pack up and go, and holy cow. Yeah, the hardest work.
It is. Oh, I'm so excited for that too. Sorry. I'm also a big fan of Abracadabras. I could talk about that all day. But then it would turn into me interviewing Griffin Cork and Karen Johnson Diamond, and
that's right. And you can't usurp that power from us. Nice try.
I'll have to start a rival podcast called the Dinner Dish, and then have you guys as guests on it.
The supper plate.
The supper plate.
Oh my God.
The bowl that you put your salad in podcast.
Nice. Yeah. Flappy Dub.
The bowl you put your salad in. That is actually a good podcast name.
I think it's actually
I
a
might
proverb.
steal that.
I think for next time, well, when Dirty Laundry finally picks up again, the improvised soap opera, I think my character will be named Flappy Dub.
Or the bowl to put your salad in.
Hello, I'm the bowl you put your salad in.
Oh, and yet another version of your old lady voice, and that's good. This episode is sponsored by ATB. Mom, what does ATB stand for?
Alberta Treasury Branch. Next question.
Okay. Do you know the name of their campaign?
Build to help Albertans. Next question.
That's right. And speaking of questions, they're there to answer your questions that are commonly asked by Albertans in these tough times. Karen, what's a commonly asked question that you never get an answer to?
Why doesn't Neil Diamond love me?
Perfect. ATB, you better get on it. In 1938, They were opened. They provide supports for Albertans during these hard times. Like when Karen asks you a question, you have to let her down easy. But ATB is still there to support Albertans through the bad and the good.
Everyone thinks Neil Diamond's old. ATB is older than Neil Diamond.
That's right. We're dropping actual facts here. But they're also here to help Albertans because it's a downturn. People are slowly recovering, and it's not quite over. But they're built to help Albertans, so they're going to rebuild, and we're going to find a new normal. And ATB's gonna give you a call and tell you about Neil Diamond.
You should get an account there.
I have one. I have a debit.
I've raised you well. Good for me.
Yeah.
Karen, you could do voice acting too. You've done so much voice acting already, and I can see the span.
Right?
Of voices.
Yeah,
Just in this episode.
I'm just auditioning for Jordan right now. That's it.
Perfect. Yeah. Next animation will be in about 6 years when I finish the one I'm currently on. And
What are you on right now? What are you working on right now?
yeah, so I'm working on a much longer animation called The Wilder Family Web. It's a sketch comedy feature film that's going to be done in 3 parts. The sketch comedy comes from the plot, which is Grayson, a 14-year-old boy. It has to do a family web assignment. And so we go into a vignette of each of his family members, and each one is a comedic sketch, and it all kind of ties together into one big plot. Ain't that a good log line?
That's pretty good.
Little convoluted, but yeah.
But you wrote it?
Yeah, yes I did.
And you're animating it.
And
later
I'm animating it.
You will grip it. You won't grip it.
Yeah, maybe not, though.
That's the nice part about animation, right? Is it's so much more work, but I can do it all from a chair. Whereas, preparing for an actual film, you have to make sure everything's good for the day. And it's a lot of preparation, and it's a lot more work. And on set, it's a lot more frantic, and it's a lot more work. But when it's done, it's done. Like whatever you have and the amount of days you filmed, you're like, it's in the can. Whatever this is, we got to turn it into something. Whereas animation it's much more relaxed. And you're in your chair, but it's so much more tedious where you're going, well, I guess I could make the hair flow a little bit, and you end up doing way more work than you actually meant to, and it looks way nicer, but at the same time, it's taking a lot slower. But yeah, we're hoping to get part 1 in next year. So we'll see where that goes.
That working indoors as well is kind of nice, because it doesn't matter if it's minus 25 outside when you're just flowing the hair a little bit more.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this film also takes place during the winter, so it's nice to be inside nice and warm while you're animating snowflakes and the characters are shivering.
Merry Christmas. That's right.
Yeah.
This is yet another one of your trades. You also act. Am I right about that?
Yeah, I talk about that one less because I do it a lot less, but yeah, I act when I can. I've acted in a commercial for Blues on White. I've acted in several short films, and yeah, a couple TV shows here and there, but yeah, it's been a lot of fun.
Do you do voices in your own animations?
That's a good question. Are we going to see a Bouma freaking cameo?
I try not to, because I do.
Come
I don't.
on.
I know.
Be like Hitchcock. Like we all have to decide which character was you. The person that has just one line that goes,
right,
Jinkies, and that's it.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, put that in the next project. It's just you saying Jinkies.
I very well might, very, very honestly. See, I'm never self-conscious of acting in anything else except for my own projects. For whatever reason, when I'm acting in my own projects, I go, oh, what? You couldn't just take the director, animator, editor, every other frickin' thing you're doing on this. You had to act in it too, didn't you, Jordan? But it always ends up happening because when you're animating, there's always stuff you didn't realize. That's already happening with Wilder Family Web, even though I took so much extra dialogue from actors. There's already like, oh, there's an extra screaming running from a giant spider, and we have no scream for that one voice. I might have to do it myself.
You have to do it. You have to make the Walla Library. The Walla Walla Library.
The Walla Lala Library.
Am I making that word up? Didn't I learn that?
You're kind of right. Walla. Yeah.
Walla.
Oh,
Walla is
okay.
like
That's
my
more like
library
a
of-
general crowd sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, okay.
And see, I did that with every actor, especially even Griffin. I think we had him like doing things like humming, everything from jumping, humming, and all that jazz. We did do that, but I think I just didn't have enough of a library of extras. We had even,
Right.
yeah, we did have a bunch of that, but there's never enough. No matter how much you plan for, there's always something like, someone yelling jankies as they're running across the screen that you didn't plan for.
I'm just going to make my voiceover instructor listen to this so that they can hear that I learned those terms. That's all.
Please don't. God, they'll. Well, you said Walla Lalla Library, and that was tough.
I said Walla Walla, but that's a city in Washington.
Yeah, and also Flapdub is a city in Washington. What do you think is your favorite out of? Well, I guess not out of the three. What do you? Oh man, I didn't really. Let me hold on a second.
I know it's the question is, what's my favorite something? I'm in suspense of what
What's
it
your
might
favorite
be.
Neil Diamond song?
I was gonna prepare for that because I was like, oh no, I don't know any Neil Diamond songs.
Yes,
or so
you
I
do.
thought.
Everyone
It's-
thinks they don't know a Neil
Exactly.
Diamond song.
And then I went to go look up Neil Diamond songs and I was like, that one's in Pulp Fiction. Things like that.
Yes.
That would come up.
Girl,
Yeah.
you'll be a woman soon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's, in the scene right before the drug overdose. Yeah.
I've only watched half that movie. I just know that Neil's in it.
Fair enough.
Do you think that there is a correlation in terms of like acting and animating? Like, is there a certain? I think kind of what you were talking about is you get to have a lot of in terms of the hair flow, like a lot of the different like attention to details and kind of choices that a director and an animator of animation gets to make. Do you find yourself like, do you find a correlation between acting and animating? Is there some creative spark that gets sparked in you both ways, or are they still pretty different?
Yeah. This kind of goes back to that question about prelay, because that's why I like people acting and then animating over it, is because I have something in my head when I write it down. But part of the humbleness of writing something or being a screenwriter is that the actors will take it in a completely different direction than you originally intended.
Right.
And they do something better with it, which I have to always remember. And that's why, especially for something like this, with this new animation, Wilder Family Web, it's so much more free flowing and there's so much more movement and expression than there was for Where Monsters Dwell. Because Where Monsters Dwell was, well, we're going to make it seem like a 60s serial where people kind of like point and have a couple expressions and go, what's that over there? And, because we were limited with animation. And after discovering how much we could do, we have so much more expressiveness. So something we were animating the other day, was I was doing a scene where somebody eats a bird. And this person is played by J.C. McKenzie. And
I love J.C. McKenzie.
She's great. Man, I should shout out all the actors, really, if I had time. But
Now let's just talk about J.C.
Yeah,
she's
there
great.
you go. She is great. She's fantastic. Great actor. But there's a scene where she's eating a bird, and we had her do a bunch of munching sounds. And in one of the takes, she accidentally she coughs, which happens. We've done multiple takes, and I wasn't going to use that one initially, but we were thinking, and we had her eating the bird, and we changed the animation. So after she eats it, she munches it for a bit. And then we used her cough that she coughs out a couple feathers and then goes back to eating. So completely unplanned, but that's what you get when you are recording first and animating second, and you're building the performance around the actor.
Genius.
Yeah, you're building it from the ground up and from their voice. So many things like that, so many things that weren't planned. And when the actors did something like that, we animate around it because it just makes it so much better. And so that's a great correlation between the acting and the animation. Does that answer your question? I kind of went on a rant.
It does.
Okay,
No.
good.
I
Good
think the
stuff.
element of choice is really exciting whenever you're talking about any kind of creative industry. It's like, when do you get to go, but how about this?
It makes me think I'm a sucker for the clickbait of those BuzzFeed things that are like 10 improvised moments in TV shows that were left in or whatever. So now I will look forward to 10 prelay moments where the actor came up with something great for the animator.
You won't believe that this wasn't in the script.
Watch till the end. Wait for it. LOL.
Yeah, keep going.
RMLOF.
RMLOF. And
Yes.
all right, everyone shut the hell up. Karen's going to explain what that means.
RMLOF is really mother, fucker loving. No.
Holy shit.
It's rolling my laughter over fungus. I'm a professional improviser. I am a goddamn professional improviser.
Really, my love of film.
There's not a lot of
That was
times
much
when
better
in
because of my love
episode
of film.
I know
yes.
which one is going to come out as the clip of the episode. It's going to be that. Because I think you said rolling fucking mother Oklahoma or something. I cannot believe what just happened.
Don't put your mother saying motherfucker as a clip.
I'm doing it.
Oh my lord. Okay, I would like to call out our jingle writer,
Eminem, Snoop Dogg,
Alex
Kendrick
Kalman.
Lamar. Lay down a verse.
Alex Kalman. I would like to credit her with our jingle and point out that she says in our jingle, "Tell me your dreams over bacon and eggs." And we have yet to ever ask any guest to share a dream with us. So, Jordan, some dream you've recently had or the dream you most remember? This is completely random question, but I want to answer.
You're not talking about like aspirations. You're talking about actual sleep.
You fell
visions.
asleep and you saw some things that felt real, but they weren't because then you woke up.
Oh my God. Okay. Yeah. Wow. This could be personal.
Yeah.
You know what? Alex might have meant dreams, like tell me your dreams for the
I'm
future.
almost
but I
certain
want to
she
know
did, but,
serious nightmares or whatever.
Okay. Yeah. No, I have a lot of go-tos for this because I do have a lot of weird dreams. I had a dream that I was in like sort of a fantasy castle. I was going up to the top of the castle and I got to choose if I wanted to have a friend or have a giant bird. And I chose a friend. And then it turns out there was some...
As the Griffin in this chat. Are you kidding me?
And I know. I see if it was real life, I would have chosen the giant bird. But for whatever reason, we do crazy things in our dreams. I chose the friend. And then we were being chased by some knights and some members of the government. It was a real genre blend of a dream.
You should have chosen the bird. Get back here.
Well, that's the thing. We were on a high castle. So I jumped on my friend's back and was like, giddy up, give me a piggyback. And he jumped off the castle.
You know I'm not the bird, right? You had the choice.
And then I toppled to the ground, broke my bones, and then I got arrested by the government/soldiers. So, and then I woke up.
Good. His bones are broken now. Easy to arrest.
When you have a dream, is there times when you go, okay, I know exactly why I dreamt that because I've been animating JC eating a bird all day or something? Can you often pick what led to you having that dream?
That's actually a good question.
Yeah, I'm more like ethically than the actual objects in the dream themselves. Like I woke up being like, well, that was a fable with a lesson to it, I guess. Always choose a big bird. Always choose the person for the job than the person who will be your friend or something along those
Always choose
lines.
the one that will make you sore.
Wait, Griffin, I don't even remember you as my son of 25
Sorry.
and a half years.
Oh my God.
If you are a dreamer,
What
I
are you
remember you telling me about a skeleton nightmare when you were kids, but do you still dream? Like, do you have regular dreams, or are you like your dad who once a month goes, yeah, I dreamt I was eating a sandwich. Seriously. Dreamt
You're
I was
lying.
eating a sandwich.
You're
No.
lying.
I have dreams every single night and they're epic and I can talk about them forever. And Dad does not remember a dream. And if he does, it's like I was eating a sandwich.
This is 3 episodes in a row now where we've put Kevin Cork on blast.
Do you
What's the
dream
question?
though? That's what I want to know, Griffin. Do you still dream in the nighttime while you are sleeping?
Yes. The Breakfast Dish has been part of the Alberta Podcast Network, locally grown, community supported. The intro music you just heard and the outro music you're about to hear is by Alexandra Calvin. All graphic design for The Breakfast Dish has been done by Morgan Ermter, and I do, in fact, dream. Jordan, thank you very much for joining us on The Breakfast Dish.
Oh, my pleasure. I'm going to listen to this episode several times while animating and crying. So
Give me
it'll be
that cry. Remember the good old days when I got to choose between a bird and a friend? So now, listen, we do have a usual wrap up, but I want you to give out some plugs. Do you have some social medias? Where can people find out more about Rictus River Films and the upcoming projects? Hit us with it all.
Yeah. So, On Facebook, we are Rictus River Films. Unfortunately, on Instagram, you'll just have to look up Jordan Bouma because that's basically all I have socially there is just the work I do.
Bouma. Jordan.
Yeah.
There will be
Bouma,
links in the podcast
Bouma.
description, everybody.
Mm-hmm. We used to have a website, but we forgot, and then the domain name was scooped up by a Japanese game show. So if you look up our website, enjoy some Japanese game shows. And we probably can't afford to buy...
There's a called Rictus River Films?
Well, it was called jordanbouma.com, and and then it was changed, and then we were gonna have it over to Rictus River Films, and yeah, so it's been a whole nightmare. It's a waking nightmare to maintain a website, but one day maybe we'll have one, and you can find it on our Instagram and Facebook. There you go.
Now, on the breakfast dish, Karen will ask you an improvised question that she didn't plan. Hopefully it's something better than fuck Mother Oklahoma question time. Here we go. Flappy Dub 3, 2, 1.
It was a Flappy Dub question. Let's say that you have to animate a character named Flappy Dub. What does that character look like?
And it can't look like Flappy Bird.
Wow, you really stole my answer. Okay,
I knew it.
Flappy, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Flappy Dub.
Flappy Dub. I picture him as a professional voice actor who does ADR, hence the dub, and he's made entirely out of encyclopedias. And the pages are all over him, and he's flapping around all the time. And he's a nightmare to record with because you just hear shuffling papers every time he moves. And so one day he decides to just walk into a campfire and he ignites instantly, and no one can...
Oh, Flappy! No!
Oh, Flappy Dub. The tragedy of Flappy Dub, the animation. And,
Anyway, that's the tale of old Flappy Dub. Now get out of my swamp before the gators get you.
You know what's the worst part of this is so that was completely on the spot, tragic tale, and then I thought about it and was like, yeah, that's kind of how a lot of the sketches in Wilder Family Web go, actually. They're all kind of dark, hilarious, random tragedies.
And they die. Oh my god. No spoilers. This has been Griffin and Karen and Jordan from The Breakfast Dish, leaving you with the one piece of advice. Always choose the bird. Good night, everybody. Oh, God. The birds in the studio. Run. Studio audience, none of you are safe.
This has been The Breakfast Dish.